quick prayer, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with bowed heads and humble hearts, just thanking you for the many blessings that you've already poured upon us. Dear Lord, we pray that you will bless this event, not only just for the groundbreaking, Father, but for each phase. We pray that we will utilize the skills and talents and abilities that you have shown upon all of us. And Lord, we just pray that everything that we do it to bring glory to your name and to your kingdom. All these blessings we ask today in your name. Amen.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Thatcher Dawson. I'm the Executive Director at Hope Farm. And we're celebrating today the Slone Vocational Technical Center. Yes. And so, thank you. Thank you again for coming out. And I want to especially thank our guest, Miss Betsy, Mayor Miss Betsy Price. Thank you for coming out, taking time out of your busy day to be with us. And we're asking you to come dream with us today. If we have to have a theme today, it's going to be come dream with us. And so I also want to have special thanks to our rest of our guest speaker, Mr. Mike Maddox with the Dallas Mavericks.
He's going to bring us a few words. And our founding father here, Mr. Noble Crawford, will share some wisdom with us as well. And I'd be remiss not to thank our Hope Farm staff. These guys have worked tirelessly. Raise your hand out there, Hope Farm staff. Thank you so much for all the work that you put in. I love these guys. It's a great team. Thank you. And the whole reason why we're here, we want to thank the Slone family. This is the Slone Vocational Center, and so Miss Fran Slone, his brother, Tom's brother, Mr. Don Slone, his sister, Patty Montgomery, and give them an extra hand. These guys came all the way from Indiana today to be part of this. Thank you very much. And the granddaughter, Miss Casey Slone, thank you so much. So the groundbreaking ceremony is just not a groundbreaking ceremony. We think this is a opportunity, an infrastructural opportunity to combine the community, Hope Farm, the city, and the schools all together to create a project for our boys. Mr. Slone had a vision a long time ago. He said that not all boys are going to go to college. Not all boys want to go to college. So we need to create a viable option for those who don't. And so creation of a vocational center gives them that opportunity. Come and dream with us. Think about this. A young man can learn a trade, have his certificate before he graduates from high school, which will parlay him into a good job where he can take care of his family, where he can be a viable product of the community. How about that? And let me give you another dream. What about the moms and the boys learning a trade together and getting a certificate together and perhaps start a small business together to help support their family? Come dream with us today, guys. Come dream with us. All right? The Slone Vocational Center will be a three-phase approach. We'll have an office building. As you can see some of the renderings out here, and if you have any additional questions after it's over with, come and see us. It's going to be a two-story building, 6 classrooms, 2 conference rooms, and then the third phase will be the build out of the first floor with the equipment with the help of the boys, and so that they'll have some ownership on this project again. Come dream with us, guys. Thank you so much. Come dream with us. All right? So, in conclusion, come back by about a couple weeks from now. We'll have the building up. We'll have the siding and everything so that you can take a more visual look at it. This gives us an idea, but we want you to see the real thing because we want you to be a part of this from start to finish. And so, thank you for doing that. And so with that, I take further ado to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, who is a friend of Hope Farms. She's no stranger of Hope Farms. She's been here several times. who is an advocate of reading literacy and a great proponent of vocational training. So all of this kind of fits in with us. Thank you for come dreaming with us. And so with that, I bring to you our 44th mayor of the 13th largest city in America, Ms. Betsy Price.
Thank you. Good afternoon. For the Slone family, thank you all for this donation. It's a great deal. And we ordered Chamber of Commerce weather for you today. So little sun's a little low, but other than that, the weather's perfect. Isn't this a great opportunity to dream, to see where our children are going, our young men, their mothers, their families? What a golden opportunity. And besides, aren't you glad to be away from Zoom meetings? I don't know about you, but I am. One too many Zooms is making me a dull person because I love people. Since I was first elected in 2011, I focused on education because it truly is the biggest issue that all cities are facing. We must educate our young men and young women if they're going to have a bright future that all of us have been given the chance to do. And many times their parents, for whatever reason, simply can't get it done. So it's up to the community, like all of you, like Hope Farms, to be there to fill in that gap. Vocational education is truly the backbone right now. I meet with small business owners and large business owners all the time who keep telling me college education is wonderful, but our children need a 1 to 2 year certification, get a job, a good paying job, and then most often their employer will send them on for a college education. This is a dream come true to have a vocational center where we can educate our children. Not having these children in school the last 7 months has had a significant impact. Centers like the Slone Vocational Center will help us help them catch up, many of whom are struggling right now. We simply have to get them there. For Tom and Fran Slone to dedicate this here in Fort Worth is really a vision that will pay off for a long, long time to come. You know, we started Read Fort Worth and Tarrant To and Through, our Cradle to Career initiative, and our best places for kids. Centers like this will help us fulfill those dreams for all our children, not just those whose parents can and will see that they're learning, but those who, for reasons beyond their ability, can't help their children. The community will step up and do that. So it's a game changer for Fort Worth. I'm thrilled to have just a very small piece of it. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Noble. It's a dream come true from where you started Hope Farms. And to the Mavericks, thank you for being with us too. Thank you all.
And with that, we will transition into Mr. Michael Maddux, who is the corporate sponsor for the Dallas Maverick. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
So, first thing I want to do is thank Dawson and obviously Fran for having me out here today. You know, Tom was a very good friend of mine, and I appreciate the opportunity to come here and just be a part of something that was so very, very important to him and something that meant a lot to him, and just to watch his dreams come to fruition. I met Tom in conjunction with Little Big Shots, which he was utilizing as a fundraiser for Hope Farm. And I remember the first conversation we ever had. And we talked a little bit, and he kind of gave me the background of this 3-on-3 competition and how it was going to be utilized to raise money. And I said, well, that's all great, Tom, and we would love to help you out, and we'll have the games here at the American Airlines Center. It's going to be awesome. But tell me, I said, I don't know anything about Hope Farm. In fact, I don't even know what Hope Farm is. And he said, well, do you have a few minutes? I said, sure. And he said, well, let me tell you about it. Well, about 6 hours later, Tom's still talking. And I finally had to say, Tom, I got to go home. My wife's wondering why I'm not coming home for dinner. And over the years, as we worked together, we became really good friends. We would have lunch, we would have dinner. You know, we'd talk about his beloved Kentucky Wildcats, the state of the Mavericks, sports in general, and everything, even having to do with our families. And I will tell you, over all the years that I knew Tom, and over all the conversations we had, we did not have one conversation where sooner or later, everything came back to Hope Farm. He was so proud, not only of the work that you do here, but of the children and the young men that come through here, that it just warmed his heart. And he always came back to Hope Farm. There was always something going on that he was interested in talking about, and he was always proselytizing about what a great place Hope Farm was. This place holds a special place in Tom's heart because he understands Hope Farm's mission, he understands what Hope Farm represents to this community, and he understands what Hope Farm means to the kids that come through here. So often these young men come through here with not a whole lot of direction. And I will tell you, having an opportunity to have a vocational center here to give them that next step, to give them that certification, is going to be an amazing game changer for these kids. Not only for these kids, but also for their mothers, which in turn will then give back to this community. Tom was very proud of every single person here, and he was very proud of the young men that came through here. It is time for the North Texas business community to step up, and where Tom set the bar high, we need to take that bar to the next level. There is an old proverb that says, the greatest adventure, the greatest journey starts with one step. Today with this groundbreaking, this is the next step. So the ball's in your court. Let's make this happen. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do the groundbreaking ceremony before our founding father come up and take a few pictures. How about that, Mayor? And also, will our chairman of the board, Steve, come on up as well? Thank you.
And Kim?
Ms. Price, I know you got to run, but I'll be quick, I promise. And as we said, you've been such a friend to Hope Farm. Anytime we call, you've been available, and we appreciate you taking that time for us and working with it. Thank you for dreaming with us. So on behalf of Hope Farm and the Board of Directors, we would like to present this honor on your behalf. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. This is going to be good. Thank you all.
All right, Mike, thank you as well for coming out. And on behalf of Hope Farm and Board of Directors, we'd like to present a gift to you as well. Thank you so much for all you've done and will do for the Hope Farm. Thank you.
And I will tell you, this is the first time since March that I've put on a suit, so I'm really excited to be here.
And now, one of our own, our co-founder, our founding father, Mr. Noble Crawford, is going to share some wisdom with us about what all this means. Thank you, Noble.
Well, founding father makes me really feel old. Thank everyone for being here. God has given us a great day, and it's a great event. It's another milestone in the history of Hope Farm. And I want to start out by sharing just a couple of stories about Tom. Tom used to bring his whole staff here for Christmas parties. And Vince was the Santa Claus sitting over here in the red shirt when we have those Christmas parties. And one of the persons that came to those parties was Ann Caruso, Ann and Carl Caruso. Ann's gone home to be with the Lord, but because Tom brought her here, she was the first person to say anything about building a gymnasium for our boys, because they were playing on the concrete and it was hot out there, and she thought they shouldn't be out there. So that sounds just like a mom, you know? So Tom's roots go really deep into his interest and his heart for Hope Farm. When he first started talking about vocational skills for our boys, on one occasion we were at a restaurant in Arlington, and we were having breakfast there, him and I and Gary. And we were talking about this whole vocational project and the dream that he had, because one of the things that he mentioned was there's a shortage of skilled labor. And so while we were sitting at the table, Tom said, "Noble, won't you pray about this?" And I said, "Okay." And so I said a short prayer. We got up from the table, and he noticed a gentleman sitting at another table with a TCU shirt on it. And he said, "Hey, Gary, that's one of your classmates." So we went over to meet this gentleman, and he happened to own a construction company, and he was looking for young men who could become apprentices to learn the skill of construction. And as soon as Tom heard that, he said, "Noble, God answered your prayers quick." And ever since that occasion, Tom always say, "Let Noble pray because God's going to answer his prayer quick," you know. So I don't have a corner on God, you know, but I humored him anyway. And so I say all that to say that Tom has been talking about this for a long time. But now he's no longer with us. He's gone home to be with the Lord. But what we appreciate about Fran is that she did not want that vision to die, because she's been married to a visionary for a long time. And so she rekindled that fire and brought it back to the table again. And that's one of the reasons we're out here today, is because she wanted to keep Tom's dream alive. And so I would say that dream is alive and well today. And when we look at these renderings, and it gives us an image or some idea of what the Slone Vocational Center is going to look like, that gives hope to that dream, because a lot of people have dreams, but they don't ever go anywhere. But this dream is getting off the ground today. And we're all a part of this history-making event. So Fran, thank you for rekindling that dream. And I would say, before, you know, when you look at these buildings on this campus, they all have a story. And we started out with these frame buildings, and Mayor Price is not here now, but I wanted to let her know that when we had the grand opening for those buildings back in 1996, Mayor Kenneth Barr was here, Mayor Pro Tem Ralph McLeod was here, and the city council person Kathleen Hicks. They were all here in supporting what we were doing here on these grounds for Hope Farm, and not only just for us, but for the community. Because once this structure goes up and it starts operation, we really believe that there are going to be a lot of stories coming out of this Slone Vocational Center, a lot of success stories, and we will all benefit from that. So we appreciate everybody in this audience who are, I would say, benefactors and beneficiaries. So how can you be both? Well, you're a benefactor if you are contributing to what God is doing here on this small piece of ground. And you're a beneficiary because there's nothing that you can give that won't come back to you. And so there's a scripture that says, "He who is faithful in little is faithful in much, and he who is unfaithful in little is unfaithful in much." And so we have the favor of God on us because he keeps giving us more. And not only are we responsible for being good stewards of all of the resources that he's provided, that responsibility is on all of us here, you know, because all we have to do is take care of what he has provided, you know, whether it's personal, whether it's corporate, or at whatever level it is. And the beneficiary are going to be these young men that are here today that will grow up and impact their communities. And we say that we want to raise and produce men of integrity with a Christ-centered relationship and a Christ-centered worldview. And so that's what we do here. And we thank you for coming alongside us and supporting what we do. And this is just another milestone. I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be like 10 years from now. We have a location in Como, we have a location in Dallas, and now we're talking about Waco. So this thing is just going to keep growing. And I'm excited to be a part of it, even though I've retired, they keep calling me back. So Mr. Dawson is going to come up and give the closing remarks. And again, thank all of you for being here. Thank the Slone family for being here. Dallas Mavericks represented here. So the representation is very, very broad.
Thank you, Noble, for that history, a walk down memory lane from a Hope Farm standpoint. Very important. You may be retired, but we know where you live and we know your phone number. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming. Thank you for contributing to this groundbreaking event. We look forward to our grand opening, and we hope each and every one of you will be a part of that. Again, this will be a three-phase prong. So we look forward to making this happen. Now, we have some good news. We have a donor who have allotted a $70,000 matching fund for us. And so we need to make sure that we raise at least $70,000 to help match that fund. And you know, we may not do it all today, but we have time. So we have several ways that you can donate and contribute to Hope Farm. You can do it by text, you can do it by web, you can do it by credit card, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and just mail us a check, right? But if you want to help support, please donate. We need about $200,000 to finish phase 1 and 2. So $70,000 already out there. We're only $130,000 away, and we know we can do it. So thank you, and thank you. Now, before we go, we do have box meals for everyone over at the center over there. But also, we may want to make sure everyone got a gift basket on their chair. And so we wanted you to take a little something with you from the Slone Vocational Center groundbreaking. And if you have any additional questions, don't feel free to reach out to us. Go to the website. Tell your friends. Don't keep this with you. Talk to your friends, your neighbors, your coworker. This is going to be an ongoing event. So we look forward to hearing and interacting with you as we go along. So thank you. And at this time, you are released to go grab a box lunch, and we can terminate at this particular time. Thank you, and thank you.